let's talk about this last episode of Mama June. We finally got to see Josh and Pumpkin and Darren meet face to face for the first time since Pumpkin and Darren got together. Josh decided to pull up at Jessica and Cheyenne's wedding party, and he gets out of the car, and I'm really shocked that he even pulled up to begin with. But he gets out of the car, and everyone's looking at him, and all the attention is on him once he gets out of his car, and once he has to make the far, 50-foot walk from his car. And he walks up, and nobody even acknowledges him whatsoever outside of Jessica. Everyone's just staring at him, looking crazy, whispering behind his back. Like, you could literally cut the tension with a knife. Even June pissed me off in this moment because, I know you don't care for Josh, but Josh has done so much over the years, stepping up and being there for Alana. The least you can do is be like, hey man, what's up? How you doing? But nobody acknowledged him, so he just walks up to Jessica and he's like, hey, I'm so happy for you and Cheyenne. I just want to stop by and give you guys a gift, and I'm going to head out. Which I don't blame him whatsoever. He immediately left, and everybody seems super relieved that he ended up leaving because it seems like nobody really wanted to deal with him anyways. And he ends up leaving, and after that, they're all sitting there and they're trying to figure out what to do for this bridal shower because it seems like Jessica really didn't have no plans besides eating and just chilling at the tables. And some parties are like that, but Mama June, she don't like parties like that, so she's trying to hype the party up. So she's like, guys, how about we play pin the cooch on the donkey? I will admit, I did laugh at that. That was the first time that I caught myself laughing at something from this season. But June was coming up with all kinds of ideas, and nobody was really for it. But good thing June had a backup plan because she decided to rent out a bull ride so they could all ride on this mechanical bull, and that really was the life of the party. Everybody went from being all quiet and just chilling to all laughing and having fun. Look at Jessica and her fiance Cheyenne here, how happy and how lit up their faces are watching everybody ride the mechanical bull. Then they all sat down and did presents, and Mama June decided to give Jessica and Cheyenne several things, but she decided to go all out on I guess stuff that they could use for their honeymoon. She got them a few vibrators and some toys. It looks like she went to the local Cirillas and stocked up. But it's okay, I don't mind if you do that because they're grown adults and I'm sure they're going to get good use of those toys. But June had these toys out and she's turning them on and she's flopping them all in the air and showing all the kids and saying F-bomb this, F-bomb that. Literally every other word she said was an F-bomb. And it's okay, June, when there's kids around, I want to be doing all this around all the kids, especially with kids being sponges. They soak up every little thing you say, and when she's dropping the F-bomb every other word, that's how the kids are going to start talking. I want to be surprised that they're already at their house dropping an F-bomb here and there with June the way she talks. But damn, at least she's not yelling on this show like she yells in her social media videos. I swear, she drives me crazy on social media because she's always screaming in every single one of her videos. I'm like, woman, why are you screaming at me? And it always seems like at least 50-75% of her comments are always people saying June, why are you yelling? And always calling out the fact that she's a potty mouth. But June just never listens. And then even Cheyenne's mom was calling her out and saying, look, she's whipping out this vibrator and she's cussing nonstop in front of the kids. It's just too much. And then we see everybody go home after the party, and Jessica and Cheyenne, I guess right now they really don't have a home. They're living in a hotel, which I thought the fire just did a little bit of damage to the house, to the awning that's above their porch. But I guess it kind of did more damage than I thought, to the point that Jessica and Cheyenne currently can't live there. So they're having to live in a hotel, and they're trying to make it seem like they're burning up their savings living in this hotel. But I mean, they should have insurance on that house, I'm pretty sure. And if you have a house fire, doesn't that insurance temporarily cover your hotel stay? I mean, regardless, I would be suffering living in a hotel, going from living in a house to living in a hotel, because it's just so jam-packed. And Cheyenne and Jessica are trying to figure out what to do because they seem pretty miserable themselves living in a small hotel. At first, Jessica kept trying to convince Cheyenne, hey, my mom offered us to live in her house. Why don't we go there? And Cheyenne was not budging. She would not even consider it. But I think after staying in that cramped hotel long enough, she finally started to be like, you know what? Maybe June's house, which is a lot bigger than this hotel room, won't be too bad. We can make that work for a little bit. So after a while, Cheyenne finally told Jessica, yeah, go ahead and call your mom and say that we're moving in. And Jessica couldn't believe it. She called her mom and June was excited. Justin didn't seem too excited because apparently June didn't talk about this with Justin before she decided to make the decision to let Jessica and Cheyenne's daughter move in with them. But she was happy to have them, and they went over there and moved in with her. And next thing you know, we see Pumpkin, and Pumpkin is talking on the phone with Alana, and they're talking about the fact that Josh has pretty much, like, cut off Alana. Like, it seems like once Pumpkin and Josh's marriage died, it seems like that's when Josh's relationship with Alana died. And it seems like he doesn't really make any effort to try to call her or see what she's up to anymore. And Alana's been doing a lot. She's like halfway through nursing school. I just saw she just started her first internship at this doctor's office, so I'm very happy for her. But Josh isn't being that supporting, like, father role that he's always been for her. So Pumpkin said that she's gonna go meet up with Josh and pretty much rip him a new one and try to get to the bottom of why he has not been reaching out to Alana. Pumpkin went and met up with Josh at this restaurant, and she's sitting down with him and she's like, look, I just want us to be cordial. You know, it's been like a year that we've been split up, and I feel like we still can't talk about anything. And she talked about how she feels like he's got anger issues that are unresolved, and because of that, she feels like she's walking on eggshells. And then she brought up Alana, and she's like, yeah, so Alana misses you, and she wants to know what's going on. And Josh was like, look, I've had a lot going on. You know, he's got a new baby, and he's dealing with a lot of life changes, and he's got a gang of kids now. And he says that he has been going through so much and he's been kind of down, and he doesn't want that energy to rub off on Alana. So he says he's just kind of avoided her because he doesn't want Alana to see him all sad and depressed like that. But Pumpkin was like, look, you got to step up and do something. And he agreed. So Pumpkin brought up, okay, why don't you go visit her? And he said, yeah, that's fine. I just need you to watch the kids. And Pumpkin said she'd be willing to watch the kids for a few extra days so he can go see Alana. And so I guess that's going to be what we're going to be seeing here soon, is him go visit Alana in Colorado. And I'm sure Alana's going to confront him for him pretty much being MIA. And Pumpkin was like, and while we're talking about things, I need to figure out, like, what we're going to do, because she's like, look, I've been trying to avoid you and Darren meeting face to face, but it's been a year, and I'm tired of having Darren leave every time that the kids get dropped off or picked up. So I think it's time that you and Darren just sit down and talk and meet face to face and get over this hump, so we don't have to go through all this trouble every single time that we want to drop off or exchange the kids. And Josh was like, look, and he was acting like it was Pumpkin's fault. He's like, well, look, you're the one that decided to move on. And Pumpkin was like, okay, dude, you have no room to talk because you moved on way more than me. You're the one that moved on and decided to start a whole new family. And that's when you kind of saw Josh's anger issues that Pumpkin was talking about kind of lash out a little bit, because he slammed his hand on the table, and as soon as he did that, you could tell he regretted it, and he like took his hand and like swiped it through his hair, trying to act all nonchalant like he didn't just do that. But Pumpkin was like, yeah, you had a whole other family. And Josh was like, no, yours is worse. I really feel like Pumpkin has no room when it comes to getting on to Josh about moving on so quickly, because honestly, I feel like she moved on quicker. She was with Darren within like days or weeks of breaking up with Josh. Some people even speculate she was with him before her and Josh finally called it quits for good. And then she got with Darren, and he's the cousin, so that's a whole nother knife in the kidneys, as Cody Brown would say. And then he moved on and had a baby, yeah, but that was after Pumpkin had moved on with the cousin, and she had already had pretty much moved in Darren at that point already by the time Josh had knocked up this girl. But that's it for this video, guys. So we're going to see more of their confrontation face to face in the next episode. But you guys let me know what you guys think about this last episode in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.